Are there any corrections or amendments?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion made and second to approve the minutes. Cast your votes, and the minutes are approved. Thank you. Item 3 is to ratify some claims, and we have a long list of claims in here. They all relate to TIF 8 projects, I believe. Are there any questions on any of the claims that were submitted for ratification? Kathy, any comments you'd like to make on them?
Correct.
Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to ratify the claims.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Is there any further discussion? Please cast your votes. And the claims are ratified. Thank you very much. Item 4 is a group of items that require individual consideration. Item 4A is the adoption of 2011-2012 Oklahoma City Economic Development Trust budget. Are there any comments or questions on the budget? We have the budget guru here with us to answer those questions. Kathy, anything you'd like to say on that?
Brent is here to answer any questions you might have. We did have a presentation on it at our last meeting and went through the major changes or major things that are addressed in this year's budget. We'll be glad to try to answer any questions.
Are there questions? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion for approval. Motion?
Second.
Second motion made. Any further discussion or questions while we have the budget expert here? Please cast your votes, and the budget is adopted. Thank you very much. Item 4B, a concurrence with the City Council approval of final plans and specifications to be advertised for bids, project DC 0240, drainage improvements vicinity of Interstate 40 and Council Road. And this project relates to the outlet mall, I believe.
Yes, it does. These are the drainage improvements that are required for the construction of the outlet mall. This item was approved by the City Council in April and kind of fell through the cracks a little bit in some of our workflow processes that we use for agenda items. So that's why you're seeing it here today.
And the project will be overseen by our Public Works Department.
Yes.
Very good.
What's the impact on this? The outlet mall is supposed to be opening 4th and 5th of August, and this project is not supposed to be done until 2012, the first part.
This is the portion that's going under I-40, and we will be able to go ahead and open the outlet mall while this work's being completed.
So the outlet mall is not going to be flooded?
No.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
I hope not. Now that I've said that.
You're anticipating rain, Larry? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion for concurrence.
So moved.
Second motion made and second. Is there any further questions or discussion? Cast your votes, and we concur. Thank you very much. Item 4C is another concurrence issue, in concurrence with City Council to ratify and approve addendum number 1 and addendum number 2 regarding contract to Downey Contracting LLC, project DC 0240, drainage improvements in the vicinity of Interstate 40 and Council Road, $1,596,000.
I probably should have mentioned this earlier. This is the contract for the plans and specs that you just concurred on, and the addendums that are associated with that contract with Downey Contracting. So the work's already underway and has been, and this just asks that you concur and approve the addendums for this contract.
And am I right in interpreting that the engineer's estimate was $1.8 million, and we're getting the project for under $1.6 million? Is that a fair conclusion? So this was a fairly good bid in that case. The chair will entertain a motion for concurrence.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Please cast your votes, and we concur. Thank you. Item 4D is a new project for us, and a very exciting project. Resolution authorizing and directing the general manager and or his designee to negotiate an economic development agreement for subsequent trust and city council consideration with Cox TMI Wireless LLC to provide for certain economic development incentives in exchange for locating its support call center in Oklahoma City and creating quality jobs. I understand we're going to have a presentation from the Cox people. Robin, are you going to introduce the program?
I was going to introduce Robin. So Robin Roberts Krieger with the Greater Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce is here to kind of kick off our presentation on this project.
Thank you. Robin Roberts Krieger, Greater Oklahoma City Chamber. We're delighted to bring Cox Communications before you today as a potential strategic investment program recipient. This is the unit called Cox TMI Wireless LLC, and our presenters will give you a little more detail. We're looking at about 218 jobs over 3 years with an average salary of just under $36,000 a year, and the request today is for a $450,000 incentive. I'd like to introduce Shelley Osborne, Vice President of Customer Care, and Kristen Peck, Vice President of Government and Public Affairs, and they will give you a little bit more information on the project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kristen Peck with Cox Communications, and Shelley is here with me as we get to the Q&A portion of the presentation. Shelley leads up our call center here in Oklahoma and will lead the wireless call center as well. I have copies of the presentation. So I'm here to, first of all, thank you for having us here today. I'm here to give you a little bit of background about our company. Our company was actually founded in 1898, so over 100 years ago, by a man named James Cox, who borrowed $26,000 from his mother to purchase the Dayton Daily News. And from that time, our company grew into radio, and then television, and then telecommunications and beyond. So Cox Communications is the third largest cable company in the United States, and as you can see, we've really grown our business since we began. Right now we have more than 5 million customers, 5 million video customers. We have 4 million Cox high-speed internet customers. We have 2.3 million Cox digital telephone customers. And we're not ready to announce our wireless customers yet, but they are growing, and they are growing fast. So over the last 6 months, Cox has begun offering wireless service in California, Virginia, Nebraska, and as of March, here in Oklahoma. Currently, all of the wireless support calls from across the country come through the Oklahoma City call center here in Oklahoma City. It's located at 122nd and Penn. As the company continues to roll out this new product in other states within the Cox footprint, more employees are needed to ensure that we are able to provide the award-winning care experience that our customers have become accustomed to with our other service offerings. Knowing that we will be growing our wireless support staff by more than 200 employees, our leadership began looking at options for where to house these new employees. Cox operates in 16 states across the country, managed within 9 clustered areas represented by this slide. In evaluating our location options for wireless support call center facility, we met with city and chamber staff in Oklahoma as well as in other states to discuss the needs of our operation. Several factors were vetted as the company considered where to locate these new employees, including the existing infrastructure in place, the quality of the local workforce, and the state and local business incentives. The reality being that for a company like ours that operates in many communities across multiple states, there were several options available for our consideration. Just as Cox has a lot of competition as a service provider, we understand that municipalities also have to be aggressive and creative as they compete for businesses to grow and expand in their communities. As stated, Cox operates in many municipalities across the country, several of which we were also considering as potential locations for these new jobs. As the world of telecommunications continues to become more and more competitive, and if you go back to the next slide, it'll show you, this slide just gives you a small snapshot of what that looks like for us. You don't necessarily have to go all the way back. It is essential that our company continue to make good business decisions to ensure our company's future success. And after evaluating all of the critical factors for locating these jobs, we believe Oklahoma City is the place for us to grow our wireless operations at this time. So what does that mean for the local economy? The estimated impact of expanding our wireless call center operations in Oklahoma is nearly $30 million over the first 3 years. We plan on adding about 218 new jobs with an average starting wage of about $35,900. We plan on investing over $1 million in capital as we ramp up the workstations for these new employees, and the estimated sales and property tax impact is about $230,000. Cox is proud to bring these jobs to Oklahoma City, a community that lately seems to be getting an awful lot of accolades for being ranked either first, second, third, or in the top 5 of municipalities across the country in a whole host of positive factors affecting the quality of life here. Having a favorable business climate, including offering incentives like the Oklahoma Development Trust, is one of the reasons why Cox decided to move these jobs to Oklahoma City. Thank you very much for your consideration, and thank you very much for your investment in Oklahoma City's future.
Kristen, thank you very much for the presentation. Are there questions? Larry?
Yeah, the 229, you said $229.5 thousand, $230,000 in sales and property tax? What do you mean by, what sales tax, what is included in that sales tax?
The sales tax would be the local sales tax that are generated, along with the property taxes created from their investment.
From their investment. Has
Yes,
nothing to do with any sales tax that the employees would pay after they get their payroll checks and
It's
go
the
out?
sales when we run this data through our regional model, it comes back in the first 3 years. It'll generate $229,000 over a 3-year period in additional sales tax to our economy and property taxes, both from the employees.
Okay.
Frank?
What type jobs, what type jobs are these 218?
They're primarily customer care representatives handling billing calls, technical support. We do a lot of the technical support. That's probably the primary call driver that we'll have here.
Will they basically be incoming calls?
Incoming
will
calls.
You gain marketing out of this group?
Yes, incoming calls.
And the 218 jobs, those will take 3 years to fill all those jobs? Is that your plan?
That's currently what our plan is showing. It will depend upon how fast our business grows.
Okay. And as I understand it, this will be the customer call center for your wireless
Yes,
system?
it is. It would be the national call center for our wireless support.
And currently now, you offer that service in Oklahoma City.
We do.
And how wide a network do you have? If I subscribe to it, if I went to California or went to New Jersey, would...
How far-reaching is our wireless footprint? It's pretty much throughout the United States. I could get you a map and it'll
So you're ready
outline
to
that for you. But,
compete?
I mean, you can call anywhere you want to.
Are there any questions? Jim?
We do have wholesale agreements with other carriers, yes.
Well, I want to welcome your new people to Oklahoma City. I think that's great. It's a great addition.
Thank you.
Cox has been a good corporate citizen in Oklahoma City for a long time, and we just anticipate the furthering of that relationship as we go forward. And good luck in your negotiations with your contracts. And if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Okay, we need a resolution now to authorize our people to negotiate a contract. We have a understanding in very general terms, but the specific contract needs to be hammered out now, and that contract will come back to the trust for final approval as we get there. So we need a resolution then to authorize the negotiation process to begin.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, motion made and second. Any further discussion? Cast your votes, and the resolution is approved. So go after it. Good. Item, hopefully not. Item 4E is a joint resolution of the Oklahoma City Economic Development Trust and the City of Oklahoma City renewing agreement of support. Kathy, would you like to say a word or two about that one?
These are the agreements of support that are a requirement of our the debt that we have with our TIF districts, in particular TIF District number 2 and TIF District number 8. This is just a routine thing that we have to do each fiscal year, a requirement of those financings that we renew the agreements of support.
Any questions about the item we're considering? Move approval? Second. I can tell Frank was getting ready to second that. Are there any further questions or discussion? Cast your votes. And the item is approved. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is item 5, the general manager reports. Kathy, do you have any specific you'd like?
Well, I do want to point out that in this general manager's report, we added some additional information about some of the projects that I think is shown on pages 3 and 4 that I hope you'll find helpful. These are projects that are related to our strategic investment program and kind of give you the status of those projects. On page 2, on the first page of the strategic investment program, you can see that over the life of the program, we've allocated about $13.5 million. We've only paid out about $2.5 million. So some of the companies have not performed as they originally anticipated, so the payments haven't been made. So the program's working in the way that we intended it to. It is a pay-for-performance program, and I think that, that this information helps to provide you with some additional information about how it is working. And then the remainder of the program, the remainder of the report just walks through our various other programs, the different TIF districts. Obviously, most of our activity continues to be in TIF District 2 and 3, and then TIF District 8. By far the largest activity has been with TIF District 8 in the past month and in the past year to date. So if you have any specific questions, we'll be glad to try to answer those.
Are there questions? Just a comment. I really appreciate the information that's on pages 2, 3, and 4. I think it's a good update.
Yep.
And we'd encourage the people who are in the last 3 who have yet to get our contracts all filed on and taken any money from us to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
It's 2,600 jobs is a pretty good number to have added to our system. Larry?
A question on TIF 8. The question was asked right at the end of council this morning, Kathy, about whether or not there was going to be enough funds generated by TIF 8. This was what I got out of it. I could be wrong. Enough funds to complete Project 180. And the answer was given by Mr. Couch that you're looking at scaling back some of Project 180.
Yes, we are, and we have scaled back the scope of portions of the Project 180, especially in the streetscapes. For example, I think the example that the city manager gave today was a few years ago we did some streetscape improvements on Walker from about Robert S. Kerr to 5th or 6th Street, and the property owner there requested that we not make any additional improvements in that area, so we're not going to go back and tear up work that we just finished about 3 years ago. So there have been those kinds of changes. We also are continually evaluating the revenue estimates associated with TIF 8 and looking at the budget and the expenditure side of the budget to see if we do need to scale back the scope of some of the other projects. And that is a possibility that we may have to scale back the scope of some of the other streets in the future.
Is that a purview of this committee here, or is that something we should not be involved with?
You will be involved with that once it goes through the Devon Implementation Committee and through the process to get here, but it hasn't reached that level of the process yet, or that point in the process.
Are there any questions or comments? Okay, very good. Thank you very much for your report. The next item on our agenda are comments from the staff, comments from the trustees, comments from the public. And thank the Chamber for their performance and attendance here this morning. I appreciate that. Anything else? Any citizen comments? One more time. All right, thank you much. We are adjourned.